Hello party people and welcome to my channel. My name is Quartz and my channel is Quartz and Curls, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my tonsillectomy and getting my adenoids removed. I am past the full healing period and I am completely healed up. It has been about almost 4 weeks since I got my surgery. That being said, if you haven't seen my first video, I will have the link below, so check that out. In that first video I do talk about the surgery and the pain I experienced and the food I ate and stuff like that. So check that out below if you're interested in that. In today's video though, I'm going to be talking about the differences I have noticed now that I'm fully healed, and I will be sharing some photos that I took. So let's get into it. All right, so I didn't take photos right after I got my surgery, but here's a picture here at the, I believe this was like a week and a half mark. And as you can see some of the white stuff. And when I first woke up from my surgery and during that first week, you see the white patches in this photo, my whole entire throat looked like that. And that scab actually came off, which I talked about this in my first video and it was very painful. But anyways, so here's a picture of my throat now. So as you can see, there is a big difference between these two pictures. And overall, I just feel like I can breathe so much better. In general, the main difference I have noticed is being able to breathe. I honestly felt very wheezy all the time, and I actually gained a little bit of quarantine weight, and I was actually attributing it to that. Even though I was going to the gym, for some reason I thought it was the weight I gained, but it was actually due to my tonsils, throat, and adenoids being swollen. Because even going to the gym now, I can breathe so much better. Just sitting down, I can breathe so much better. I just constantly felt like I couldn't breathe, and I don't know, I could just breathe so well. That being said, I also used to snort a lot. I've always been someone that was prone to snorting, when I laugh. But then recently, and this was really at the peak of my tonsils being swollen and also my adenoids being swollen, I noticed I was snorting a lot more. And once again, I was actually attributing this to my weight gain. But I would notice even just walking or breathing, I would just randomly snort. Whereas prior to my tonsils being swollen, I would just snort if I was laughing. But it was getting to the point where I would just snort all the time. I was honestly snorting 1 to 2 times a day on average. It was ridiculous, and I thought it was because I gained weight. So but it was actually because of my tonsils and adenoids, because since getting them removed, I think I have done a baby snort once and that was when I was laughing, whereas usually it would be a really deep pig sounding snort, no joke. But yeah, so I feel I can breathe better. That being said, I also mentioned in my first video I had a lot of tonsil stones. Obviously I don't have any tonsils, so I haven't had any tonsil stones, and I've noticed in general that my mouth feels a lot more hygienic, a lot cleaner. I haven't noticed any bad breath. The whole time that my tonsils were swollen, I just felt like my breath smelled, and I also noticed that my tongue doesn't get as dirty. You know how your tongue gets a white film on it? And I didn't even realize this, but now that I've gotten the tonsils removed and I'm not getting all the tonsil stones, I've noticed that my tongue doesn't get as dirty. Before, when I would wake up, my tongue would be white all the time, and now it's white, but it's not completely white like it was before. I just felt like my breath smelled really bad. My morning breath was absolutely terrible, and I do think that this was due to the tonsil stones, because I feel when you have a lot of them, the saliva itself in your mouth just really smells, and I haven't experienced any of that. So also eating food, because I feel that's a big question. So once I did hit the 2-week mark, I went for a post-op surgery in the middle of the week, and they said you can eat whatever you want. I did still have some of the white stuff, so my throat wasn't fully healed, but she said at that point it was safe to eat whatever I want. So I ate chips and fries. That being said, my throat was still getting sore past my 2-week recovery mark. So I would say the full soreness didn't go away until the end of 3 weeks. And then during week 4, so this past week, my throat has felt great. But before that, I definitely would say, if you're someone that has to give presentations or maybe you talk a lot at work, definitely take it easy even once you hit the 2-week mark, because for that first, that 3rd week, you're definitely going to still get a sore throat. I found that if I was hanging out with friends all day or talking a lot at work, I found that my throat was still getting very swollen. So I would definitely say have cough drops on hand and still keep some water ice, because once my throat got really swollen, I would just take a cough drop or two, or maybe eat some water ice at the end of the day. So you don't have the raw feeling, but in general, your throat would swell up. And I am gonna come in closer because if you look at my first video, all of this was swollen and it's not anymore, and I feel like you can definitely tell. The last final thing, fatigue. I was extremely tired. I noticed the days that my tonsils were extra swollen, I was very fatigued, and I'm assuming it's just because my body was trying to fight whatever was going on but was failing, and that just led me to be very tired. But I have noticed that my energy has gone up so much. So my energy is just super high now. I definitely just feel less fatigued. So overall, would I get it? Yes. Would I recommend it? Yes. Just make sure you time it out and make sure you plan accordingly, like with foods and drinking water, and be prepared to lose a little weight and have to readjust. I know for me, I was going to the gym a lot, so it really sucked to have to like reset, because I couldn't go to the gym for like 2 weeks, and then I still waited another week after that. So I've only just started going back to the gym. So if you are like a gym buff and that's something you do, or maybe you're in sports, that is something to heavily consider. But anyways, I hope y'all like this video. Stay tuned for my new videos. Like I said, I try and post on Sundays. And if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them below.